Tonight we pause in the stillness of the season, when the noise of the world softens and the heart becomes more willing to listen. Christmas is not merely a date on a calendar or a tradition we repeat. It is a divine invitation to remember that heaven once touched earth in the gentlest way imaginable. In that quiet arrival, hope was reborn, and love was given a voice strong enough to echo through every generation. The spirit of Christmas moves not through lights or gifts, but through surrendered hearts. It moves when we allow wonder to replace weariness, when we let faith rise higher than fear. In this sacred season, we are reminded that God often comes softly, not to overwhelm us, but to transform us from within. There are souls listening tonight who have grown tired, who have prayed prayers that seem unanswered, and carried burdens that feel unseen. Christmas declares that no soul is forgotten, no tear is wasted, and no waiting season is without purpose. The same God who came as a child still comes near to the broken, the hopeful, and the hungry of heart. When the spirit of Christmas moves your soul, it awakens something eternal inside you. It stirs compassion where bitterness once lived, and it breathes peace into places long occupied by worry. This spirit does not rush you. It gently leads you back to trust, back to love, and back to the quiet confidence that God is still working. Let this be the season where you release what you cannot carry into the new year. Lay down regret, disappointment, and the pressure to be strong on your own. Christmas reminds us that strength is found in surrender, and miracles are born when we make room for grace. As you go forward, do not rush past this holy moment. Carry the spirit of Christmas with you into ordinary days, into difficult conversations, and into uncertain tomorrows. When heaven once moved toward earth, it was so that earth could forever remember how close heaven truly is. So open your heart, lift your expectation, and let the spirit of Christmas move your soul. Not just for a season, but for a lifetime. And as that spirit continues to move, it will begin to reshape the way you see yourself and the way you see others. You will notice that patience comes more easily, forgiveness feels lighter, and love flows more freely than before. This is the quiet evidence of God's presence at work, changing hearts in ways no outward sign could ever fully capture. The miracle of Christmas is not confined to a manger long ago. It lives in the ongoing work of renewal within the human soul. Each time you choose faith over despair, each time you choose kindness over judgment, the message of Christmas is being lived out again. Heaven rejoices not only in grand moments, but in these daily acts of surrendered obedience. There will be days after the season ends when the world feels heavy again, when joy seems distant and peace feels fragile. In those moments, remember that the spirit of Christmas was never meant to be seasonal. It is a living promise that Emmanuel still walks with you, even when the path feels lonely or unclear. Let this spirit guide your steps into the coming days with quiet confidence. You are not moving forward alone, and you are not moving forward without purpose. The same love that entered the world through humility now empowers you to walk in courage, compassion, and unshakable hope. May your soul remain sensitive to the gentle movements of God. May you recognize His presence in stillness, His guidance in uncertainty, and His love in every breath you take. And may the spirit of Christmas continue to move within you, shaping your life into a living testimony of grace, light, and enduring faith. And as that testimony unfolds, you will discover that joy is no longer something you chase, but something that rises within you. It will not depend on circumstances aligning perfectly or answers arriving on time. It will flow from the deep assurance that God is present, attentive, and lovingly involved in every detail of your life. The spirit of Christmas teaches us to listen more than we speak, to trust more than we strive. In a world that demands constant motion, this spirit invites holy stillness. It reminds us that divine power is often released not through force, but through faith that rests confidently in God's promises. There will be moments when you feel unqualified, uncertain, or unworthy of such grace. Yet Christmas itself is the reminder that God specializes in entering unexpected places and using willing hearts. He does not wait for perfection, He waits for openness, and when you open your heart, He fills it with purpose beyond your own understanding. Allow this season to realign your desires and renew your vision. Let your prayers become simpler and your faith become deeper. When the spirit of Christmas moves your soul, it lifts your eyes beyond the temporary and anchors your hope in what is eternal. Carry this light gently but boldly into the world. Let your words bring encouragement, let your presence bring peace, and let your life reflect the quiet miracle of a heart transformed. In doing so, you become part of the continuing story of Christmas, a living expression of love sent from heaven to earth, still moving, still healing, still calling souls home. And in that calling, you will realize that your life itself has become an offering. Every act of love, every quiet sacrifice, every moment you choose grace over reaction becomes a reflection of the Christ who first came in humility. The spirit of Christmas does not ask you to be louder, it asks you to be truer, to live from the inside out where God's presence gently abides. There is a holy tenderness that accompanies this spirit, a sensitivity to what truly matters. The things that once seemed urgent begin to fade, and the things that once seemed small take on eternal significance. A kind word, a listening ear, a moment of prayer becomes sacred ground when offered with a willing heart. You may not always feel the movement of the Spirit, but do not mistake silence for absence. God often works most deeply when emotions are quiet and faith is steady. Christmas assures us that even in unseen moments, heaven is active, arranging purpose, restoring strength, and preparing what is next. As time moves forward, guard what has been awakened within you. Do not allow the pace of life to steal the peace you have received. Return often to stillness, to gratitude, and to trust, for this is where the spirit of Christmas continues to renew the soul. And when others encounter you, may they sense something different, something gentle yet powerful, not because of words you speak, but because of the light you carry. Let the spirit of Christmas continue to move through your life until your very presence becomes a reminder that God is near, love is alive, and hope has never left the world. And as that light grows brighter within you, it will begin to steady you in ways you did not expect. You will find yourself less shaken by uncertainty and less moved by fear, because something deeper has taken root. The spirit of Christmas anchors the soul, reminding you that God's promises are not fragile and His presence is not temporary. There will be moments when the world around you feels restless, when others are searching for answers in noise and distraction. In those moments, your quiet assurance will speak louder than explanation. Peace that is carried, not announced, becomes a living witness to a God who still draws near. Let this spirit shape the way you respond to life's interruptions. When plans change and answers delay, choose trust over frustration. Christmas teaches us that divine timing often arrives disguised as waiting, and that what feels like delay may actually be preparation. Do not underestimate the power of consistency in faith. Returning daily to prayer, gratitude, and surrender keeps your heart aligned with heaven's rhythm. The spirit of Christmas remains alive in those who choose devotion over convenience and depth over display. And when the year unfolds with its joys and trials, remember this sacred truth. What began in a moment of divine love continues through a lifetime of divine guidance. Let the spirit of Christmas move your soul again and again until every season of your life reflects the quiet miracle of God with us. And in that remembering, your faith will mature into a quiet strength that does not need constant reassurance. You will learn to stand steady even when emotions rise and fall, trusting not what you feel but what you know to be true. The spirit of Christmas teaches the soul to rely on God's faithfulness rather than its own understanding. There is a sacred confidence that grows when you walk closely with this spirit. It does not make you immune to hardship, but it makes you resilient within it. You begin to understand that storms do not cancel purpose, and darkness does not diminish light. Christmas declares that light always finds a way to shine. As you continue forward, allow your heart to remain teachable and tender. Do not harden yourself against disappointment or close yourself off after loss. The spirit of Christmas heals by keeping the heart open, reminding you that love is always worth the risk and hope is always worth holding. You may find that God uses you in ways that feel quiet and unseen. A word spoken at the right moment, a prayer whispered for someone in need, a presence that brings calm into chaos. These are not small things, they are holy assignments carried out by a soul willing to be moved. So remain attentive to that gentle stirring within you. Protect it, nurture it, and return to it when life feels loud or unclear. Let the spirit of Christmas continue to guide your steps, deepen your faith, and shape your life into a living reflection of peace, compassion, and unending grace. And as that grace continues its work, you will notice that your prayers become less about control and more about communion. You will speak less out of urgency and more out of trust, knowing that God hears even the prayers you cannot fully articulate. The spirit of Christmas draws the soul into relationship rather than ritual, into presence rather than performance. There will be seasons when you are called to wait and others when you are called to move. In both, the same spirit will guide you with quiet assurance. Christmas reminds us that obedience is not always dramatic. It is often found in faithfulness to the next small step, taken with a heart that remains surrendered. When doubt tries to whisper that you are alone or unseen, return to what this season has taught you. God chose closeness, He chose humility, He chose to dwell among us. That choice did not change with time, and it will not change with circumstance. The spirit of Christmas is the ongoing promise that God still chooses nearness. Let your soul remain soft in a world that often grows hard. Protect your wonder, your compassion, and your willingness to believe. These are not weaknesses, they are sacred strengths formed by a heart that has encountered divine love. And as the journey continues, may your life quietly testify to this truth, that the spirit of Christmas did not pass you by, but found a home within you, that it continues to move, to heal and to restore until every breath you take echoes the message first spoken in stillness. Peace has come, love remains, and hope lives on. And in that hope you will discover a deeper rest for your soul. Not a rest that comes from everything being resolved, but a rest that comes from knowing who holds the resolution. The spirit of Christmas teaches the heart to lean, to trust, and to breathe again, even when the future is still unfolding. There will be times when the path ahead feels ordinary and unremarkable. Yet it is often in these quiet stretches that God does His most faithful work. Christmas reminds us that the extraordinary is frequently born out of the ordinary. When a willing heart continues forward in obedience and trust, let your soul remain attentive to the gentle nudges of the Spirit. Sometimes guidance comes as peace, sometimes as conviction, and sometimes as a quiet persistence that will not let you turn away. These movements are not random, they are the loving direction of a God who knows you completely. As you walk through life, resist the urge to measure your impact by visibility. Heaven measures differently. Faithfulness, humility, and love carry weight far beyond what can be seen. The spirit of Christmas moves powerfully through those who are content to serve without applause. And when your strength feels small, remember how Christmas began. God chose the small, the humble, and the overlooked to reveal His greatest gift. That same pattern continues today. Let the spirit of Christmas keep moving your soul, reminding you that even the quietest life, when surrendered, can carry eternal significance. And as that significance settles into your spirit, you will begin to live with a holy awareness that every moment carries meaning. Nothing is wasted when it is surrendered to God. Even the delays, the detours, and the unanswered questions become part of a greater unfolding that your soul is learning to trust. There will be moments when you look back and realize how gently you were being led. What once felt confusing will reveal itself as protection, and what once felt painful will show traces of purpose. The spirit of Christmas trains the heart to see with faith, not only in the present, but in reflection. Allow gratitude to become your daily posture. Gratitude keeps the heart soft and the spirit receptive. It shifts your focus from what is missing to what is already held in God's care. In this posture, joy is no longer fragile, and peace becomes steady rather than fleeting. When you encounter others who are weary or discouraged, let your life speak comfort before your words do. The spirit of Christmas flows naturally through compassion, through presence, and through love that does not rush to fix but chooses to stay. Sometimes the greatest ministry is simply being a reminder that no one walks alone. And as your journey continues, may you never lose sight of this sacred truth. What began as a holy moment became a holy movement within you. Let the spirit of Christmas continue to move your soul, guiding you with light, anchoring you with hope, and carrying you forward in quiet, unshakable faith. And in that unshakable faith, you will find courage rising where hesitation once lived. Courage not born of certainty, but of trust. The spirit of Christmas does not promise an easy road, but it assures the soul that every step is taken in the presence of God, and that presence changes everything. There will be moments when obedience asks more of you than comfort ever could. Moments when doing the right thing feels costly and standing firm feels lonely. In those moments, remember the quiet bravery of love that shows humility, of light that entered darkness without resistance. Christmas reminds us that true power is gentle and true victory is faithful. Let your heart remain responsive to compassion even when the world teaches indifference. When you choose mercy, when you choose understanding, when you choose love in places where it is least expected, the spirit of Christmas is alive and active through you. This is how heaven continues to touch earth. You may not always see the fruit of what you sow, but trust that nothing planted in love ever fades. Seeds of kindness, patience, and prayer grow beyond your sight, carried by God into places you may never walk. Christmas assures us that faith works far beyond what the eye can measure. So walk forward with quiet confidence and open hands. Release the need to know every outcome and embrace the peace of being guided. Let the spirit of Christmas continue to move your soul, not just in moments of reflection, but in the living, breathing rhythm of everyday life, until love becomes your language and faith becomes your home. And as love becomes your language, you will notice how it reshapes your reactions before it ever reshapes your circumstances. Where impatience once spoke first, gentleness will now rise. Where fear once dictated your choices, trust will quietly take the lead. The spirit of Christmas teaches the soul to respond from alignment rather than impulse. There will be seasons when you are called to give more than you receive, when your kindness seems unnoticed and your faith feels stretched. Do not misinterpret these seasons as loss. They are moments of deep formation where God strengthens your roots so that what grows next can stand firm. Christmas reminds us that growth often happens underground before it is ever visible. Let humility remain your companion on the journey. Not the humility that diminishes your worth, but the humility that keeps you dependent on grace. In that dependence, pride loosens its grip and peace finds room to stay. The spirit of Christmas thrives where the heart stays teachable and surrendered. When you feel tempted to rush ahead or compare your path to another's, return to stillness. God's work in your life is intentional and personal. What He is building within you cannot be replicated or replaced. Christmas assures us that divine love knows exactly where to meet each soul. And as the days continue to unfold, may you walk with a calm assurance that you are being guided, held, and loved. Let the spirit of Christmas keep moving your soul, shaping your thoughts, softening your heart, and anchoring your life in a hope that does not fade, no matter the season. And in that anchored hope, you will find a steadiness that carries you through change without fear. Change will no longer feel like a threat, but an invitation to trust God more deeply. The spirit of Christmas reminds the soul that the one who guides you today is the same one who held you yesterday and is already present in your tomorrow. There will be moments when silence surrounds you, when answers do not come quickly and direction feels unclear. In those moments, remain faithful to what you already know. God is good, God is near, and God is working. Christmas teaches us that waiting is not empty time, it is sacred space where faith is refined. Let your inner life be nurtured with intention. Return often to prayer, reflection, and gratitude, not as obligation but as connection. The spirit of Christmas stays alive where the soul is regularly refreshed by truth and stillness. This is where strength is renewed and perspective is restored. As you move through the world, do not underestimate the quiet authority of a peaceful spirit. Peace disarms tension, softens resistance, and opens hearts. When you carry peace, you carry evidence of God's presence within you. Christmas shows us that peace does not demand attention, it simply changes the atmosphere. And when you reach moments of weariness, do not retreat into discouragement. Rest without guilt, trust without striving, and remember without doubt. Let the spirit of Christmas continue to move your soul gently and faithfully, reminding you again and again that you are never alone, never forgotten, and never beyond the reach of divine love. And as divine love continues to reach for you, you will sense a reassurance that words cannot fully explain. It is the quiet knowing that your life is held, that your story matters, and that nothing you are walking through is accidental. The spirit of Christmas wraps the soul in this assurance, steadying the heart when emotions waver and circumstances shift. There will be times when your faith expresses itself simply through endurance. Not through bold declarations or visible victories, but through staying present, staying kind, and staying surrendered. Christmas teaches us that faithfulness in the small and unseen moments carries eternal weight even when no one else applauds. Allow your soul to rest in God's character rather than striving to understand His methods. You may not always see how He is working, but you can always trust who He is. The spirit of Christmas calls the heart back to this trust, reminding you that love entered the world once and never left. As the seasons of life continue to change, let your inner posture remain one of openness. Openness to learn, openness to forgive, openness to believe again, even after disappointment. A heart that remains open is a heart where God continues to move freely. And so with each passing day, choose to live aware of the sacred within the ordinary. Let the spirit of Christmas keep moving your soul, shaping your life into a quiet sanctuary of peace, faith, and love. In doing so, you become a living reminder that the miracle of Christmas is not only remembered but continually lived.